I never was thinking culinary to be like a career path for myself because I was born in a family of Jews.
It is exhausting physically and mentally as well. Till the time you don't have the experience and the concept solid in your head, even if you have like crores of funding, you can go out, but you still fail.
I think I didn't have the capability to think about it at that moment when I started because I didn't have that runway what I would want.
Salam, Namaste, Sat Sri Akal, Adab. Super excited today. And I'll tell you why. There's always a reason why. I'm absolutely fascinated by this generation. I'm also raising an 18-year-old who thinks she is 24 and a 13-year-old who thinks she's 35. I love to get into their minds. I love how they are thinking about things. One aspect, if I have to really describe this generation, is at least the ones who I have met, they're fearless. They just don't fear. They want to do things and they want to do things the right way. They don't give up. And that's the story for these three young founders. Most of them you would know. They're celebrities in their own right. They have many more followers than me, and that's a beautiful thing because nothing makes me more proud than the fact that India is progressing and this is just a snapshot of them. कौन हो भैया? कौन हो?
So I am Parth, currently 26, running 3 brands, fourth one also in process. And I started when I was 21. I started with Bloom Cafe and Cakery, which is a bakery and cafe concept. Then we moved on to a fine dining restaurant called Cicchetti Italiano in 2024 when I was 24 again. And then last year, just 6 months back actually, we started the Gelateria concept of ours, which is called Firenze Gelateria. Oh, you guys are here? Oh, I'm just testing the new Amalfi lemon sorbet that we have launched. Come on up. Let me show you what Firenze is really about. It's about the old world charm. It's about the artistry of Italian craft, and it's about real gelato. You know, Italy is all about taking the craft seriously. And the one thing that Italy really taught me was to honor good quality ingredients. This is the Sicilian pistachio Bronte, and this is what took the maximum time to master. When I traveled to Italy, Florence became my absolute favorite city. The lanes of Florence, the architecture in the buildings, the paintings, the sculptures, everything told a story. Florence also happened to be the birthplace of gelato, and I had to do justice to that product by bringing it in its truest form back to India. The biggest thing which I realized there was that gelato was not as simple as people thought it would be, and I am so glad that I already had some background in culinary, which really helped me learn that and master that craft way ahead of time than maybe probably some other student. So we have 2 outlets of Bloom, 1 outlet of Cicchetti, 1 outlet of Firenze, and then the 4th brand is the catering vertical that I have, which is under process. So that's called the lavender flavors, and yeah, that's why.
And are you the first generation? Are you the second generation?
A first generation.
First generation for all the brands?
For all the brands.
You need to talk.
In fact, like my family is into, like none of my extended family is also into F&B. So it was a bizarre idea for my family to be entering something like this. So
and you started about this, you obsessed about this when you were 21, or it started much earlier?
So the inception, like I was cooking since I was a child, pretty much since I was 5, I would say. I in fact have a picture of me cooking and baking in the kitchen. Surprisingly, my mom took it. So I have that safe. But I've been cooking since a while, and I really was fond of F&B and hospitality, but never thought of it as like a career option for myself. It happened during London. When I was in London, I was actually doing my business management. And then there was like a whole mindset shift of me happening, like, you know, that, no, I want to do this.
Nice.
And at that time I was 19. So it was 2 years from 19 to 21 that I took my time to figure out what I have to do. And then at 21 I started.
Just love the whole vibe. Fondly, I call him Rudy. Rudraksh, what's your story?
Hi sir, first of all, thank you so much for having me here.
Please call me Kunal. Equals.
Perfect. I would. Mr. Vasudeva works. Right?
Kunal.
That's going to be hard because
Excellent.
So
Kunal.
perfect. So my name is Rudraksh. I'm 23 years old. I come from a family that has been in the hospitality industry for the last 50 years. We run businesses across India under the name of Nizam's Kati Kebab. And I started this concept, the a grab and go coffee concept called MARCEL'S in 2024.
Oh, you guys, what's up? Welcome back. Come, let's have a cup of coffee.
And it's a tiny kiosk. It's a 60 square feet kiosk which basically serves artisanal coffee. And the concept is not around your ideal coffee shop where you come, sit, and you're just sitting with your laptops. It's more like a pause in your life where you're just leaving your homes. You're not using any delivery platforms, but you're actually stepping out to have a cup of coffee, because I feel we've lost the essence of actually going out and spending that time with ourselves. And I feel I wanted to get that back. So currently I am running Marcel's. I have also invested in a listening room cocktail bar called 304, and I have another dessert bar which is opening up soon called Lowell.
This is the chocolate mousse and is our hot salad at Marcel's. It took me 2 months to perfect this dessert. Mousse needs to have that perfect texture and the temperature needs to be perfect when you're serving it. And I wasted around 30 kgs of chocolate. And now this is one of our hot salads. Somehow people started to grab their coffees from Marcel's and they started sitting on this ledge. So what happened was people started sitting on this ledge for hours because we had music playing in the background, we had the main road over here. So it was like a pause in people's lives. So the concept of Marcel's is inspired from these European coffee kiosks that I was inspired by when I went for my trips abroad. At Marcel's, we want our guests to take back a feeling of them not being away from home. I created this space so that people forget their problems, come have a cup of coffee, chill around, and of course, taste the legacy of 3 generations.
Yeah, for the wider audience, we'll double click later. What do you mean by listening room quickly?
So listening room is basically a space which is meant for listening sessions where the primary focus is on sound. So the place has acoustics which makes your listening experience much better. So we have sound paneling, and we have vinyl records over there. So it's more like a classic vinyl bar. And we're Delhi's first listening room. Apart from that, we have artisanal cocktails, and we do have. I'm basically a partner over there. So there are 3 more people on board. One is my brother Kabir, and the other 2 are his friends, Himkar and Sachin. So it's around their college life. So I'm just an investor over there and partner. So I'm helping.
I
them out.
love the whole aspect. And how old are you?
I am 23.
23 and an investor. Mr. Burgerman, who are you?
So I'm Yuvraj, 26, and I've been trying to build one of the best burger brands in India.
Oh, hey guys, you're already here. Let's show you around. Let's go.
We basically, the concept of BURG'IN is we are trying to bridge the gap between QSR and Fine Dine. I think QSR is the fastest format of serving someone in the F&B industry. So we just want to create food. We make everything from scratch. So we want to create food from scratch and serve it in the fastest manner possible to give the joy of having something which is so good, but in a QSR format?
So most people think that the grill is the heart of a burger kitchen, but I would disagree. I think this is. Right now I'm preparing our bestseller, Chick Magnet, and I'm brushing some hot sauce on it. So out here, as you can see, we are fermenting our own hot sauce, which is a 7-day ferment and a 3-day process in the kitchen. So this is where all the quiet work happens, the tasting, the fixing, the arguing over the tiniest of details, which the world outside would never notice. So people see burgers leaving the pass in 2 minutes. They don't see the nights we put behind standing here after closing, trying fries again and again, discussing over what went wrong in the last batch. This is the side of food that people do not usually see. Not glamour, just obsession. So that's a Chick Magnet burger, guys.
I heard somewhere you talking about the fact that why can't burger be a fine dining experience?
Yeah, it 100% can be. Initially, when we started the place, we were looking at serving burgers above 1500 rupees, but then the market did not exist for it. So we dropped our list of ingredients a little down to serve something between 400 to 500 because the market exists for that price range. But with time, with more and more people coming in, we want to go to that level where we serve proper fine dine food in a QSR format, where we do gourmet service, we do stuff for the customers in a very quick span of time.
Got it. Initial introductions done. Now let's double down. You said you were interested in this whole aspect of culinary from a very young age. Just take me back to that household because the family has other interests, right? And you had the culinary interest. What happens in that family? Because it's very different to a Rudy, because he comes from a hospitality family, and that's pretty much a daily conversation. Am I right? But not in your family. And then you have gone and built about 3 brands. Take me back to the early days. I'll tell you why. There are millions out there, right, who want to do this, but for whatever reason, they just step back. They step back maybe because of pressures. Are the parents right or wrong? I'm no one to judge. Each family knows what is best for their children. Children knows where to align. But the fact is, if someone has to defend the argument that I have passion, the way you have created your brand so passionately, take me back to those moments.
So it started again, as I said, I never was thinking culinary to be like a career path for myself because I was born in a family of jewelers. So we've been jewelers since 1789. So it was like a generational
Got it.
business, and I was supposed to be the 7th one. Yes, the 7th one, and take over the thing. So in these kind of families, when you're born with the idea that you have to join the business. Like there's no other way out, and it's not even forced on you, but it just cuts through the for you. So never thought of it, but somehow I think because my mom used to cook a lot, and I just don't know where I got this it's same passion since I was a child, and I used to love making food for the guests who would come, for my mom, or my parents. I would roll up rotis lera mera, and I would serve it to my family, and they would be and the best thing was that they would always encourage that, and look, oh wow, you made a roti today, that's so nice. So the motivation started building up from very young age with that king, and it's slowly when you get passionate about cooking, you start researching more, you start looking at videos, you start enrolling more. That's how I kind of built my initial few bit of skills, I would say.
How old were you at that time?
This was all between when I was in 3rd grade to 10th grade.
Got it.
By 10th, 11th grade, I was obviously not to a very qualified some chef or something, but I just knew a little bit about the kitchen. Then the shift happened when the major shift of this thing happened when I went to London. So I went for a business management degree, as again was supposed to join.
Is that for your undergraduate?
Yes, that was for my undergraduation. So when I went there, I was really, really exposed to so many new ingredients which were never seen by me before. So that I think really sparked a new thing of creativity in my head, and I wanted to explore more. The main thing happened was that all of my friends, I started making more friends because I was cooking. In college, you're supposed to cook your own meals and you're supposed to do everything yourself. And no one really was making the effort of cooking their own meals. But I was, again, being like someone who's really passionate about cooking, I used to make my own tiffin also in the beginning of my college days. So my friends started noticing it, that, oh my God, who's this kid who's like literally getting a tiffin where we're all purchasing food from the canteen. So that's how I like got the initial attention. And when you get attention, you love it. And you start like, doing more of the things that you get attention for.
Right. And also the social behavior. People tend to hang around you,
Yes.
right?
So
The
I think,
food, drinks, everything.
I think that's what got the initial attention for me. That's how I started exploring.
So
a
this
little bit
was,
more.
I'm assuming, when you were
First
17
year.
to 20, 21.
Yes.
Am
I was
right?
18 at that time,
Or you were
precisely.
18. Got it.
So 18 was when I explored all of these interests, and there was like this phase. I mean, cutting short to this phase where every college student was starting like some errands or something which could make them some extra money,
Got it.
so that they don't have to spend their parents' money on like eating out and stuff. So that's what the idea was with me as well. And what happened differently with me was that while everyone was doing odd jobs, I was okay to do odd jobs, but I wanted to be in the kitchen. So that is I think what changed completely the entire script of my life. And I started like I was like, I have to work in the kitchen because I love cooking so much. I can't be like a waiter in the front house. I want to be in back house. So I did like a little brother official requirements. I completed my food safety courses and I did was all that. I started working in the kitchens there, and somehow, even though the work was very, very hectic because it was more than 12 hours, they would utilize you to the best because you were a gig worker, and you would be being paid by the hour. So they would extract every inch out of you, and they don't think that you're a student or something. At least the restaurants that I worked didn't care. So
For them, it's also an apprenticeship program.
yes.
And semi-skilled, yeah.
I was, in fact, at the washing station. So I was a KST in the beginning, and for quite a few months I was a KST only. And I used to wash dishes, and I remember like getting these compliments from the manager that you would learn well and be a good dishwasher one day. I was like, yes, for sure.
So nice.
So yeah, the journey started from there, and then cut short to like I secured some amount of funds from my family, and I went like
But when you went for your undergraduate, you always wanted to come back to India?
I didn't think about it honestly at that time. I was like, I might stay, I might come back.
Got
It was like a little
Got it.
confused era
No,
for
that's
me.
okay.
Like with every other student, I would say a lot of
Absolutely.
people. So at that time, I think I did have an idea that I have to come back to my family business, but I didn't have an idea that
You don't want to come back immediately, maybe after 2 years.
So the shift happened when so basically with all the money that I made, I didn't want to spend it on any food or any like apparel of something for myself, because it was like really hard earned money and I really had worked for it. I didn't know what to do with it, so I actually decided to get gifts from my parents. And that is when the complete shift happened, that my parents were like really surprised. Where is this money coming from? And then I told them the entire story, and they would have been like, if I would have told them when I was working there, they would have been just like, just stop it.
Yeah.
Like, focus on your studies. And but the other thing happened, and I got back all the things, and they were really excited. And I still like, and I'm very, very grateful for them being very supportive. My dad was a little skeptical in the beginning because, again, you're like, it's a different business. And he's waiting for me. He's like, you have to come back and join me, be my boss. And my mom was really, really surprised. She's like, this is like such a great thing you've done, and like you've shown a different side of yourself. And why did you do this for your career? You feel like so passionate. Because they were like seeing, I think they saw it in my eyes. Like I was really, really talking about it. And they were like, you seem to be like really crazy about it. You should try this for your career. And I was like really scared because I was 19. And they gave me an option. They were like, but if you decide to do this, never opt for a plan B. Like you cannot have a plan. Is that conversation? Yes. And they told me that, because people, if they have a plan B, they tend to fall back to the plan B much faster. That's fine. So yeah, that's what they pushed you for. And I was like, okay. And I think it took like a week or so, maybe 7 to 10 days when I was there in Delhi for my vacation. And I was just like, okay, I'll just do it. And I didn't know where to start, what to start with. And that's what I tell people, like, if you're about to start, just start. Starting is the main thing. Do your research, do your thing, but just don't sit at home and still think about the idea, because you can never be 100% prepared. And I have seen people who are like, very established chefs in the industry, very established people who've been working in the industry for a good amount of years, but they still have this fear that, I'm not ready enough. And I believe that, if I can start at that time, I was 19, I had zero idea of F&B, of hospitality. I had no clue what to do, where to do it. I was like, okay, I'll just do it. And the first research literally started with me strolling through the malls, taking pictures of existing cafes and their backends. Like I would hire and like, I'll just take pictures of their backend so that I can see what kind of freezers and fridges
are they having and starting by talking about this, right? Two things. I'm just assuming you had where most of the people perhaps hesitate, right? One, the fact you did not procrastinate is the biggest killer of success. Overthinking. Yes. Right? And the fact is you did not wait for perfection. Because there's perfection is a garb of lie. You just had to start.
If I show people the pictures of what I started with and how I started with, they laugh. They were like, how the hell are you standing here when you started with this? Because I started with absolute.
Well, right. Well, the need for the 18-year-olds, year-olds were listening. Rudy, your story is different. You came from a. And Nizam is like an iconic, the top 20 in India when it goes to 4 or 5 decades, right? Like him from the jewelry business, sorry. He got it. Who were in the FP, Rizan is there. Most of the children would just go back to Rizan and say, okay, how do I take that Rizan and call it something else? Right? But you got into a cafe business. Somewhat from the outside would say it's over popping. Okay? It's everyone talks about experience. But I know you. I've seen you. I've had MARCEL'S coffee. It's different. I'm not talking about the beans. It's just the whole experience is different. Firstly, take us to the fact that again there is a family generation business. There is a generation business, and you said, you know what? Let me create my own. Maybe Rudy will find his own way. Was that the thought in your mind?
That was,
Point in time?
I'd say that was definitely the thought because a lot of people have this saying that, oh, you have a family business you can rely on. But they forget the fact that sustaining those family businesses or that their hard work, sustaining it in the long run is much harder than building a new brand. So a lot of people, they don't give credit to this aspect. Plus, my main concept wasn't just to, show that, okay, see, I can build a brand. My whole concept was I did it out of passion because when I was young, this wasn't supposed to be my industry. I was supposed to get into arts and painting because just like every other kid, I was very average in studies, and then I dropped maths. Hated maths. Hated.
I have a very different theory to that, right? About this. You know, when we say we are at average studies, I can tell you for a fact nobody starts that. Somewhere the system, the examination system, the pressure system, the rote learning system takes a good student and makes him average. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Right?
100%.
I agree. But there are studies where the same math, if applied differently, taught differently, you could be a visual guy.
Exactly.
Right? But you're taught in a different medium, you'll never be the same. You will grow up thinking math is something and you'll hate it. But had it been taught visually, because you are a visual person, it would have been very different.
That's why somehow at ISETs I topped accounts after dropping maths in 9th grade. So imagine.
So we have definitely done something good as far as accounting is concerned. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was into arts and painting and sculpture, all of that stuff, and then one day I was like, while painting, my head would always work. My brain was always working towards business ideas. I'm like, okay, if I want to pursue this, then why is my brain working towards business ideas? Then I thought about it. Then I was around 16, 17. So just before COVID, I also tried to launch my own clothing brand, tried making designer masks. I got into basically everything that I could. And I would make Instagram pages because, it would just give me that dopamine release that, oh, look, I've created an Instagram page for a new brand that I'm trying to create at this age. So that gave me that, dopamine release. It kept giving me that excitement. It made me excited. Oh, I'm going to do something now. So, but again, at that point of time, I was still in school, and later on, just 1 or 2 years before, I was like, if I'm always thinking about business, and if I have that creativity, why not already use what I have, which is the experience of my family and the business, and why don't I combine my creativity and my business ideas and combine and create something super unique? So I spoke to my family. They were, of course, very happy that, are you sure? Because I've seen arguments my whole life. I've seen arguments about how this should be done because you live in a joint family, and when you have family businesses, there are a lot of arguments. Having chola bhaturas on a Sunday afternoon with your family discussing business is totally different in Delhi. So we were discussing that, okay, this
We had chola bhature bhi apna.
100%, it was chola bhaturas, it was puris or kachoris. So yes, yes.
This happens.
This is pure. This is an average Delhi
Parth
Sunday.
is like not even a Sunday now.
I grew up in a Gujarati area.
Mhm.
Traders. Yeah. And for them, it was always seasonal, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, the dokas and the khandis, they season come summers. For them, the shrikhans and the mehoke and the puris, oh, but
Right.
at the family, I did not know today, but back then, as a family, they would play this card game,
Yeah.
right? And 20 people with a notebook to note down their words. But yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So we decided that, okay, I'm gonna get into hospitality. Then, of course, searching for places or where to, go for like. I was around 18, 19 when I joined ISH. So the reason I personally joined ISH was not because there's a lot of state of the art stuff around. It was purely because of the mindset that ISH was ready to instill in me. The day I came over here for my interview, uh, the faculty over here that was taking my interview, now they're not, of course, here. So they said that we don't go with the traditional method of having you standing for 12 hours peeling onions. So ISH had a very aggressive and modern approach towards business and hospitality. And I was like, this is exactly what I wanted. So I chose ISH. We discussed, of course, years went by. I enjoyed college.
So a lot of the times at ISH, me and my friends, we would be late for our classes. Then we would go down to the coffee shop called Delish at ISH. So whenever we would enter Delish, we were told to make our own coffees, and also we were told to make coffees for guests. And that's how I got the knack for making coffees. And now, because of that, we have MARCEL'S. And this is the R's brown sugar shaker auto. It's perfectly balanced with a little bit of brown sugar and a little bit of milk. And this is also called the founder's favorite. Cheers.
Did you incubate the idea of MARCEL'S when you were in IS?
Yes, I was in my last year. So I started thinking of the concept in my last year over here at ISH, and it was hard. Like, I'd say hard in the sense nobody, no parent or nobody would actually even give funds for their student who's still in college to start his own business. And it's not, and hospitality is something which is not your normal startup. It's not an average startup where you just take fund and you start. It is exhausting physically and mentally as well. Till the time you don't have the experience and the concept solid in your head, even if you have like crores of funding, you can go out, but you'll still fail.
And tell me something, especially you, I'll tell you why. I'm asking you, this is a hypothesis. For you, it would be even more difficult. The family came from hospitality. They knew their unit economics, they know their food, they know the location, they know ingredients, they know suppliers, they know what works, they know अगर ₹1 डालोगे, अगर ₹1.25 नहीं निकला, it will never work,
Exactly.
right? So was that pressure?
There was a lot of pressure. I mean,
Were you grilled at home?
more than grill, I was disappointed because it took me at least 2.5, 3 months to, convince my parents that, see, please listen to me, understand. There were other family members, of course. I mean, they were like, you need to get experience first. And they were right about that because, see, every person will say you need experience because why trust an undergrad like that? Like, with so much of funding and all of that, like, why would they give me that money just to start a business when I'm still in college? So it was there. So it took me a while to, make them believe. Just like how Parth said, they also asked me, okay, when we were about to start, they were like, okay, what's your plan B if it doesn't work out? I'm like, this is where the issue is. You're already looking at plan B. For me, there is only one plan, which is plan A. If you're already thinking of plan B, that it won't work, I'm already working towards plan B and not plan A. So I've already lost the battle. So that for me wasn't there. So they're like, it's good being confident, But overconfidence also plays. I'm like that. I totally agree. But again, I told them, I see mom and dad. I believe in myself. I believe in myself. I believe in the product. So
Were you always like this, Rudy?
I always had a very, like I said, I always had a very aggressive mindset towards businesses. So it was just no going back.
Just trying to kind of think about, as a 16-year-old and now obviously where you are, what is the pattern that you see in yourself?
I'd say when I was 16 or 17, I was still a bit laid back with the concept, we'll see how it goes.
That's fine.
So I still wanted to build a brand.
But you never wanted to work for anyone. You wanted to.
Exactly. 100%. I always mention this that I will never work for anyone. Why? Because my personal opinion is you can go for your experiences, internships. You can work under someone, but when you're working under someone with that mindset, you will only be restricted to a certain scope. Let's say I go and work at a restaurant and they say, okay, you're working under this team, service team. These are your tables. This is what you need to do. But the moment I'm in the shoes of a founder, of a restaurant owner, I have to do the licenses, I have to sort the staffing, I have to do the menus, I have to do the rest of the issues, I have to solve the issues that you come up with, the MCD license and all of that stuff. So you never understand that. And that is where I feel there's a lot of gap there, because in our society, we are always told ki get experience, get experience. But by the time the person gets that experience, you say 3-4 years down the line, people are already either ahead of you, and by the time you reach that stage, you are at a stage where you can't fail. It's impossible, because right now
Now you're married, you have a family. The element of risk
is low, because right now we can take the decisions, right? We can take those risks, so that we have a family to again, it's a very aggressive approach towards a business, but that's how it was. And then we opened.
But let's hang on to that thought. I just want to correlate your creativity with your business, but I'll come back to you. You don't know for business, so you didn't have perhaps what he went through or what he went through, right? First generation project? Straight out of college, and of course, you worked with Michelin star, but I'm not going to give it up. Tell your story.
So I think
A lot of people in Delhi NCR know your story, but tell India your story, because this is very interesting.
So I grew up in a typical North Indian family. My mom was very hospitable whenever guests came in, and I think
Aren't they all?
was
Aren't they all?
that one person who only knew how to make money. Till I entered college, I was not a food. I was not a chef. I used to see my mom cooking, but I was very into hospitality rather than.
On a lighter note, the entire Leh Ladakh road have Maggie chefs here. Am I right?
Fair
Yeah.
Rather than being a chef, I was more into hospitality and serving people, and more into whenever there was a wedding at in my family, I had to work all 5 days. I was working all the time while all the other cousins were chilling, and I always loved to serve people, show them a good.
Since when?
Since I think I was
Yeah.
8 years.
So it was within you,
It was always there. I loved serving people.
and like them both, you were intellectually very, very good in school.
I was okay. I think I was more into extracurriculars.
No, I'm just saying intellectually you were very good. Your math was brilliant and your sciences were brilliant. No? All right.
But I think I was a very extracurricular, very social kid. I love to socialize. I love to meet new people, go out, party.
And you're a Delhi boy?
Yeah, I'm a Gurgaon boy.
Oh, you're a Gurgaon boy.
Yeah.
Right. There is a difference, right? There is a difference.
Yeah.
Do you still see that difference? Yeah?
Very NCR. Whatever.
Seriously, is there a difference? Yeah? Like in Bombay, Mumbai,
No,
sorry.
I don't consider.
North and south, there is that.
I don't consider that indifference, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's a slight.
Okay, good.
But I had fun serving people. It was really nice. In my 11th and 12th, I was homeschooled. I used to play ice hockey. I wanted to go to Canada to play ice hockey.
Seriously?
That was the main.
Where would you play ice hockey?
In Amins Mall.
You play ice hockey in elementary school?
Yeah, so I was a national roller skater and I wanted to pursue that.
Roller skater, ice?
They don't know.
Ice
I
skating?
was shifting to ice because it's
Got it.
technically the same game, same rules, just the fiction part is different. That's on a cemented surface, this is on ice.
So you were a sports person.
So I wanted to get into that, but then COVID hit. My dad's been a pilot, so he's always traveling, always going to new places. And I think the best part is whenever you go to a new place and you have a layover, what you used to get that Coke was food. Like whatever the best thing you get in the city, like we had these Pune biscuits because
This
the
was
famous bakery in
Kalyani.
Yeah, so we used to get that from there. We had this Kolkata ki kulfi because that matka kulfi, it was really famous in Calcutta. So we used to get it.
Guwahati Airport. Oh, Purana Airport, 1990s. Sweet corn chicken soup. I am telling you, next level. Jorhat Airport, Air Force Airport. Sweet corn chicken soup of the 1990s. Next, मैं बताऊँ. उससे better तो आज तक नहीं खाऊँ. But boy.
Yeah, so all these things used to happen. What I observed was all my friends, everyone I used to meet, whatever we used to do, it was always revolving around food. Like anyone goes out for a movie, maybe a restaurant, everywhere they go out, even a club, it revolves around food.
You still share a plate of food, but some for pilot. Most of the sons of pilots become pilots.
I want to be a pilot myself. Like back in the day when I started, like because I was seeing my dad go to different places, travel a lot, and that I think instilled the heat of traveling. Like I love to travel, but then the ice such happened because I could not go for ice hockey. Aviation was also shut for a year, so I thought I will go into hospitality because that's an inert thing in me. I love serving people. So 3 years in ISH, I was still more inclined towards the hospitality and the bar segment. Like I wanted to go into the bar.
So at that point in time, you never want to be an entrepreneur,
No.
right?
Yeah.
Because of the service orientation.
Yeah, I learned a lot in ISH. I honed all my skills. I learned.
No, that's okay. But it's more of the service orientation.
I want to go into buildings.
Correct, that's it.
But when I went to Paris, that took a shift. Like everything shifted. And I think it's more because out here we are learning everything. So you get to choose different aspects. You get to do accounts, you get to do kitchen, you get to do hospitality, maybe work behind a bar in an event. So ISH gives you that sphere where you can do whatever you want. But in Ecole de Casse, when I went for culinary, I was in the kitchen. And the first day I was like, I'm in the kitchen. I don't know what to do. I worked on my basic skills. So yes, my chopping was nice. I knew the basics of what kitchen is. But I was not a good chef. Because I just went to a place where...
Because over here you were in the business,
hospitality
business store.
Hospitality.
Oh, and you became a chef then.
Yeah, so I went there and I was like, oh my god, these guys, all of my peers, like 11 people, they were exceptional at what they did. They knew how to sear, they knew how to cook, they were good at what they do. Like if a chef came up and said, do this, they wouldn't have to.
Why did this switch happen between the hospitality and becoming a chef then?
I think I developed an interest in ISH, but I didn't want to. Plus, I was in the culinary. Like I joined culinary because I wanted to do culinary, but I never got the chance or never really wanted to be a chef till that point. But then I was like, I want to go to Ecole, I want to explore a different culture, and I want to learn more about food. So I went there, and that changed everything. When I came back from training in Michelin-starred kitchens in Europe, I wanted to build a burger brand. But a lot of people didn't quite understand that decision because usually the world of fine dine and the world of burgers are considered separate worlds. I always felt that great food should not depend on how formal the room is. That's really what BURG'IN was built around. Taking that precision, discipline and attention to detail. Burgers are one of the most honest foods in the world. You cannot hide behind presentation. Every layer matters. The balance matters and the feeling after the first bite matters. I never wanted to just create food that photographs well. I wanted to make food that people genuinely miss when they haven't had it in a long time. And that's how BURG'IN was born. So I think the one thing that took us the longest time, it took us a year, was the bun. it almost drove me crazy. A burger bun sounds simple until you try making one that fits into a juicy burger and also is soft enough to disappear when you take a bite of it. And at the end of the day, if there is something that people remember about this place, I hope it's not a viral item, cheese pull or packaging. I hope they remember that the place felt honest.
So the respect I developed for kitchen out there, like 6 months in Equator Gas and 6 months in a Michelin star, this respect they have for every gram of salt and how they chew things is exceptional. Like, it's goosebumps when you work in a kitchen in a Michelin star when there's an order coming in, every pan moves at the same pan. And every pan stops at the same second. Like, we were working behind and there was pin drop silence when the order is shut down. Like, when it was over. Like, it was exceptional. So I saw that and I just fell in love with what.
Were you with one of the Alan Ducasse restaurants or?
I was in Kisafa.
Got it.
Yeah.
With one of his restaurants?
No.
Okay. This is a different one?
Yeah, it is a different one. It's near Louvre.
Got it.
Yeah. It is where Gordon Ramsay trained in his base. Yeah. It's a good restaurant. Like, I learned a lot there.
And you came back?
Yeah, and I came back. Now, the business part is, I think, so I always had an interest of, we as kids, I come from a family in Bulandshahr. So Bulandshahr is my neighbor town where I have agricultural land and little businesses. So my dad shifted to Gurgaon because he was a pilot. So we shifted to Gurgaon, and the thinking obviously is not of a major town, so it's a big shift. Though it's very progressive. But we used to get very little pocket money as kids. Like, we were not, and all my friends in Gurgaon were only businessmen. All my friends, I think that's why it comes in me, because I have grown up with people who just talk about business all the time.
And which school was this?
So I was in St. George's College, but I came back to Gurgaon and I was homeschooled.
Okay.
And I'm talking about peers.
Fair, you mean to say your peers.
And so they just used to talk about business, and I had this, like, I wanted to earn since I was very young. I was like, I want to do something or the other. So 11th and 12th, I joined this multi-level marketing scheme or grammar scheme, whatever you call it. And I built a team under me of 100, 120 people in around 3 months. So I was good at talking to people. I was good at getting them to
Got it.
But I feel that is not one of the best ways to start your...
No, it's a good start somewhere.
But yeah, you learn.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you learn. If I was a kid, I wanted to earn some extra bucks,
Right.
but I couldn't because of...
Because your pocket money was low, so you had to supplement your income.
Yeah, because I wanted to go out with my
Justified.
friends. I wanted to go out with my friends, I wanted to go out different...
Yeah, whatever.
You obviously, you want to spend your own money.
Yeah.
You want to go and you don't want to like ask someone else for money or ask someone else.
And also, if you ask, you're accountable.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Yeah,
Like, you grow up in a way where you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So that was always there. Like,
It was just you, or was it your peer network? Your peers also thought like that? I'm just trying to get again to this
No, my peers have been
generation's
super
mindset. Yeah?
super supportive.
No, what I'm trying to say is that you wanted to earn your own bar from a very young age.
I think that was also because of the environment I was in.
Beautiful.
The business environment. Everyone used to talk a lot about money and how to get around
Got
it.
it?
Like a lot of stocks, trading, what they used to do and how they used to work. They all started young. They all were already talking business when they were in 11th and 12th, and that's all we talk about still. So then I came back from Paris, and like in the middle of Paris, there were 3 friends who were sitting with a couple of beers. We were talking about one of my friends. He wrote an idea. He gave an idea. Like, we spoke together that we want him to have a burger joint in India. Unfortunately, they worked. They're still working in Europe, both of them. And I came back and I got obsessed with the idea. Like, why not start something in India that I can take to a global scale, and it is revolving around something that I can serve.
Was there any precedence in India? Was there any precedence in India of a burger place the way you were thinking about?
Not
Did you have any benchmarks in India?
Like, not really. I think I have a few where I used to eat in Paris.
Got it.
Like a lot of places which I looked at. I used to go every weekend and have a burger just because I just wanted to see how they work.
So
how the
nothing
operations are.
excited you. What you were seeing around, but something excited you in Paris.
Yeah, in Paris.
That's what you
And
said.
there where it started, I came back to the country. I tried about 100 burgers
Yeah.
in about 3 months. I was eating a burger every single day for breakfast and dinner. Breakfast and dinner. Like I used to go to different places. I used to try burgers. But what I felt is like there was not a lot of infusion of ingredients. Yes, maybe in the top-notch restaurants, but something was missing to me. I felt like we could do something a little different, make something from scratch. Because I feel a lot of restaurants say that they make a lot of things from scratch. But I have seen the story. I have been to a lot of restaurants. They don't do anything from scratch. It's everything is packaged, everything is assembled in front of you fresh, and then it goes out.
Learn.
So we just wanted to do everything from scratch, from our bun recipe to our sauces, just do a little different. It took a lot of freezing power, it took a lot of things to make that system.
Was that learning you had to learn along the way?
Yes. So then it like I was just obsessed with this. Initially, family, like my dad was like, yes, I can support you, but only to an extent.
Right.
And
Limited resources.
yeah, and a lot of people did not really like, they did not see me as like doing a business for himself, or they were like a little, he do something, work.
I have a very different theory to that, and I'll tell you why.
We do not have unlimited resources and
That's
all that,
fine.
but
That's fine.
then I just want to get in. I was like, I want to get in whatsoever, however it is. I got in because I was confident that I will.
Did you raise your own money?
I saved a lot from Paris.
Sorry.
And then also my dad helped a little.
Not
I
bad.
got,
Funded it.
I got here and there. I used to go. I used to talk.
I know,
to my
no,
family,
no.
and a lot of things happened. But what I feel like in businesses, what I feel in anything in life is when you just get into it, there is some door that opens, some window, somewhere you get a chance where you can maybe like work it around for 3 more months, and then you get another window. You can work it around for 3 more months. It's a little hard. Like the biggest battle you fight is with yourself. That's what I feel. So I kept turning it around, kept turning it around. For a year, I was in a place where it was a cloud kitchen, and it was not doing exceptionally well. Yes, it was doing well because we had a lot of repeat ratio. Now we've shifted to cross-point Gurgaon. It's been performing well. We have amazing repeat.
We'll double click on BURG'IN, right?
Yeah.
You started off with 1 or 2 brands yourself, right? Those brands still continue,
Yes.
but the stage was with Firenze.
Yes.
Would you
I mean,
agree? Well, is
I
that
would-
a fair assessment?
I would say with each brand I am opening, I'm just learning from the previous brand's
No, for sure,
experiences.
but there was that one pivotal moment.
Yes.
Would you call that Firenze?
I would call that Cicchetti first.
Oh,
That gave
Cicchetti
me like the opening to another, like, set of perspectives, another set of clientele, more like, praise for my work and everything. So more recognition in the industry as well. So that gave me a lot of confidence to execute more unique things.
And Cicchetti still exists?
Yes, for sure.
And what was the reason for coming up with another brand? As in,
So-
why not just Cicchetti? Have 4 Cicchettis, let's say in Delhi NCR area. Why? What was? I just wanted to understand what was the reason for you to scale more brands, right, and not be contented with what you have already built.
Yes. So I was more of a creative guy in that way, in the sense that I wanted to do a lot of things, not just limited to one cuisine or like one particular dish. So whatever interested me or whatever I saw that, I'm not getting that great quality in the city, maybe in my vicinity, maybe I would want to do that. I would want to build another concept. But I also had this, whole thesis that I learned, during my whole story in Bloom, that customers have a very narrow mindset in terms of how they perceive your brand. For example, if you think Nike, you think sports. Nike cannot make luxury bags now, for example. So very, very, classic examples include a lot of things. That's how a lot of brands have built, a lot of companies have different brands, but they sell different products. Parent company is the same, but they have different brands because perception is a very important thing. So if Bloom is perceived for croissants, if Cicchetti is perceived for fine dining Italian, I cannot be doing justice to my gelato if I'm paying attention to it. So it also depends on how much attention you want to pay to the product. For example, in Cicchetti, the main core attention is fine dining. We need to do really amazing pizzas for sure. We need to do really good service. We need to do really good hospitality, good bar drinks. So then, if a gelateria opens by a Cicchetti, for example, people would perceive that hospitality. People would think like, the first thing will come ki haan, theek hai, it's like some pizza, some like pasta, some dessert like that. So the first thing cannot be gelato. If I'm putting in so much effort in my gelato, if I'm putting so much effort in the whole from scratch process, in the whole learning from Italy process, then the product needs to be placed like that so that people know that the communication is there, so that people can perceive it as being a gelato forward brand.
But if you go back to Cicchetti and Bloom, wouldn't you have wanted to wait for a few years and you really wanted Cicchetti to be, let's say, the automatic top 5 choice of the best Italian restaurants? Best is a subjective word, but
Yeah, for sure.
by virtue of people are recommending it, people are not kind of talking about it. Few years of Cicchetti and then you opened Firenze. What was that mindset? Why? I'm just trying to understand
yes,
that why.
it was in fact 3 years of Bloom and 1 year of Cicchetti. And before Cicchetti completed first year, Firenze opened. I started my journey with Bloom Cafe and Cakery, which was a bakery first and bakery forward coffee shop. One thing I've been asked so many times from all the students in culinary was that, culinary is a separate thing, but how do you make a business of it? When I started Bloom, I had no background in opening any business, but there is always a start. You learn through your journey. You should not be afraid of making mistakes. You should learn from them and keep progressing as you learn from them so that you can progress better, so that you can develop a better product, and never expect your product to be 100% there in the first day. You will take trials, you will take time, you will take experience to build all of it. So don't worry, just execute. Just start with it. Starting is the most important thing. Firenze is meant to transport you all the way to Florence. And once you come back from it, I want you to be walking away with a feeling that someone has hugged you well and you cannot stop smiling. Chatuppi, see you soon.
Got it.
So they're both fairly new concepts. Cicchetti is
So you wanted an Italian and a gelato together?
Yes, and in fact, the story is actually quite interesting. That I wanted to. So we had 3 outlets of Bloom at one point, and a lot of things had happened. It's a long story, but the third outlet, which was in Basant Chowk market, was facing a few issues, which is why I decided to relocate. So the relocation was supposed to be in Defense Colony,
Right.
and while I was while I did the space in Defense Colony, even my landlord thought that I would be doing Bloom because I was supposed to do Bloom there. It was just a relocation, same team, same everything. But then I was thinking, this market is really lacking gelato, in the sense that it's lacking frozen dessert or any form of dessert which people would want to eat after their meal at, for example, like a Kunal's kebab or like a Swagat, a Sagar Ratna. There are so many legendary restaurants in Defense Colony who not one place doing justice to desserts. That is when I was thinking, okay, Bloom is great, but at night after a kebab, you don't want to eat like a piece of cake. You would want to eat an ice cream. So that is why the idea sparked. Okay, I think there is a gap here. So the first gap filling moment was local. It was a neighborhood gap. That okay, there is not a good gelato or an ice cream place nearby. People cannot be traveling to Khan Market all the way.
So you had restricted your thinking to local.
First local, yes.
Got it.
Then I realized, when I was, again, you sit and you brainstorm your idea really well, and then I realized that if I do justice to the gelato, because I had been in Italy, I had eaten a lot of their gelato, and that is exactly when I actually started loving frozen desserts as a concept, because before that it was just okay for me. I mean, I was used to very certain types of frozen desserts, in the sense ice creams, but not a lot of ice creams you would used to appeal to me. And when I was in Italy, most of the flavors I tasted were really tasting nice to me. And I was like, okay, I think there is a huge quality difference which we are facing. And we were never experimenting with a from scratch process, for example. That is when I decided that, okay, I think first I need to learn, because I tried it before, I tried it with whatever knowledge I had, but I was not able to do justice to the product. I was like, no, I'm not able to do that Italy level product here right now. That's when I decided that, okay, I have to go to Italy. And I went there, I learned again. But again, when I was analyzing the gap, I realized that if I do a full-blown authentic gelateria, it's not just local gap that I'm filling. First, then was the local thing. Then I analyzed that it was actually a city gap also. There was no place doing justice to a mature, authentic gelato brand. And then I realized that even in the entire country, there are a lot of gaps where I can fill with this kind of a brand. That is when I get like more and more confidence that okay, I think we should definitely like put a nail on it.
How
And,
does
yeah.
it really happen? And then I'll come go to Rudy for Marcel's. If there is a gap, then your local people do not have the skills to make the gelatos. How do you train them on? Just break down that process.
So the R&D part currently still lies with me.
Okay.
And it is technical. I mean, in the end, if you're like really expanding, you can invest in them doing the same course as what you've done, and then you can train them your way also. That's another story.
So you get trained yourself.
Yes.
You come back. You do a lot of R&D. Once you know that's the right product,
Yeah.
then you train them.
Yes.
And do you have all the machines at that point in time? Because these are very different machines.
Yes. So in fact, I was not ready for this kind of a capex. Honestly, when I came back, like I had no idea that it was this expensive. I had to really push myself up. That okay, I think we just have to do it. If you're building a premium brand, you have to do premium stuff. You have to invest in more money. So
And the
that
capex is expensive because of the imports.
Yes, because the gelato machines were all Italian. The Pozzetti display was Italian. The blast freezers were Italian. Everything was Italian because the temperature mismatch which we were getting in our local equipment was not as efficient.
Got it.
So, like there were a lot of variances in temperatures, which is why we decided that if we have to do justice to the exact product, to the creaminess, to the texture, we have to invest in a little better quality equipment. People who've been doing it for a while. Because we haven't really developed our infrastructure. We were a kulfi eating country. So we don't have infrastructure for like expensive gelato. Italy has been eating gelato for a while. So they have their equipment set, they have their R&D set. So their technology in that product is better than ours right now. Which is why I decided to get it all from outside. But yeah, that's how like the brand got like structured, and then it was like no looking back.
I'm going to come back to you about the long queues outside Firenze and talk Cicchetti, but let's go back to Marcel's. The creative person in you, the aggressive business person in you, the business family in you. What's Marcel's story now? What do you see Marcel's in 26, in 27, in 28? And what's your thought process right now with Marcel's?
So when MARCEL'S started, before my R&D, like while I was doing my R&D, I was leaning towards a more premium brand. I want to be like, I'm going to sell coffee for 400 rupees. I want this, I want that. I want the most premium coffee that, only people who drink coffee come for. Like, did my R&D, realized that India is lacking education in the coffee industry. Big brands are getting funding. The already established brands are giving a wrong image of coffee. Like sizes in coffee. You go to Italy, you go to France. There are no sizes in coffee. There's just differences in ratio, like a macchiato or an espresso or a latte or a flat white, right? There is no size difference. There are only two sizes for a hot and a cold one. And the difference is in the ratio. It lies in the ratio of
Double shot,
shot, flat white,
Got it.
latte or cappuccino. I was like, okay, so I'm gonna cater to the.
You're talking about the grande and the ventis and the small and the large.
I didn't want to mention it,
Can I
but-
tell you something? I have never understood it. Every time I have to see it.
It's just, I just feel it's more of a marketing gimmick, which I actually appreciate for marketing purposes. It's cool, but if you want to, educate the people, if you want India to become a coffee drinking nation, you do need to educate people that okay, there are more sizes. These are the difference lies in the ratios. So that's there, and apart from that, I think after my R&D, I realized that I'm going to do coffee for people who drink it on a daily basis. You look at cafes, they're doing a light or a medium roast. A lot of people who drink coffee on a daily basis sometimes come up with complaints like, I don't know why the coffee isn't hitting. That is purely because their body and their palate has become immune to that particular blend. So like a medium roast or a light roast.
And do you source your own beans?
No, we partnered up with Bilivu. Bharat and Zarit, they're amazing. So we partnered up with Bilivu. We made a custom blend called the MARCEL'S blend. So that is only available at MARCEL'S.
Just for the audience, can you double click on that? How does it really happen?
So I started with a coffee brand. Then we started MARCEL'S. The thing was, we didn't expect such a response, like the hype and all, everything on Instagram. We started with a single group machine, which we already had. So
What do you mean by a single group machine?
So a single group machine would be a machine which has a single group head, which they just dish out like at least 20, 25 or max 30 cups a day. I started with that because, like I said, nobody wants to invest too much when you're starting while you're in college. So we had that machine, we started the business. We started with I tried multiple beans, I tried day ones, I tried like 15, 20 different types of blends from multiple vendors. Then I had fixed on one vendor. Then when we started, it was going great, but suddenly when the hype went up and there was a lot of demand, there were issues already with the consistency of the beans. And when I called up the vendor, I asked him that, hey, I need these many beans this week. He's like, I'm sorry, but it could take this time. And again, vendor issues, they keep happening in this industry. So they kept on, delaying that this won't be there. I'm like, man, I'll have to shut my outlet for like a day or so if you're not giving me.
Or change the taste of the coffee which you
exactly.
wanted.
And all thanks to Bharat and Zarin that I called them up. I was like, hey, I have a certain taste profile that I want for my beans. Can you make me a custom blend? They're like, yeah, sure. Give us a day or so. We'll get back to you. Got that done. Got that sorted. Till late we have that blend, and now we sell those blends as well. For a French press, for a mocha pod, or even the whole beans. And now we also have DIY bags. So they've been consistent. So that helped me a lot. Consistency is super important with a brand, right? So coming back to the point where I was talking about MARCEL'S. So the issue right now in the coffee market is, of course, lack of education about coffee. People still come and ask, is cappuccino hot or cold? I mean, cappuccino can be traditionally it's hot, but now there's a new trend of iced cappuccinos as well. So the thing is that I never wanted to scale it quickly. The reason is, I know a lot of people reached out to me, oh, come on, give me a franchise, if you're doing well, why not open 5 more outlets? Even though I had the capability to open more outlets, I remember you also said that why don't you open more outlets? It's been a while. So I didn't want to rush the process of opening more outlets, because I feel a good business in the long run is a business that has set SOPs, has standards and procedures which are so perfect to the T. And I would also say that I never wanted to rush the concept, because I wanted to understand my clientele. I wanted to understand what they really want from the brand. Is the brand really a grab and go concept, or do they need a place to sit? Because I initially wanted to, it is still a grab and go concept. People in India, we really want the European concepts, but the issue is when we get the European concepts in India, right? People don't want to adapt to it. People don't want to step out.
Grab is fine. Where do you go?
That's the thing.
There's no footpath to go.
I agree with you. Yeah. That's the thing. But again, we do complain that India lacks all of these issues, but we don't realize that sometimes it's us who are not willing to go the distance or try new things, right? So that's why I felt, so I was like, okay, we're going to do a grab and go model. It's a 60 square feet space, and we got that single group coffee machine. Of course, we had to change it to a double group later on when things went well for us. So we changed that. It's a grab and go model. No delivery platforms, no porters, no third party delivery, anything. So you have to come and experience it. We have gotten bad reviews saying that these guys don't even accept porters, and we had to pay 260 rupees extra because these guys canceled the porter at the last moment and all of that. But that's the thing, we need to step out, be forgotten. I remember I used to play football when I was in my college. We used to play football when I was still in school, 10th, 11th grade. I would play football with my friends, cricket. And then after that, we would head to barista. in Defence Colony Market, there used to be, I think there still is barista.
Barista. Yeah.
So we used to head up to barista and
And if you ask your father, he would have headed out to Narula's under the Defcon flag.
oh yes, the Lajpat Nagar metro.
Yeah.
So I feel that was missing in this generation because we became so dependent on these delivery platform that coffee people started they were like, we want to get coffees delivered. I'm like, how can you have coffees delivered to your place? Because the issue with coffee is your hot coffees will become cold and your iced coffees will become diluted. There's no point of delivering these coffees to you. Spillage is one of the issues. When your coffee comes diluted, you're gonna have a bad coffee. You've spent curry. You're gonna fight with that AI bot on those delivery platforms for a refund, and you're gonna ruin your day and you're gonna ruin our day. So why do that?
Yeah.
So it's just something. It may sound a little arrogant from a founder's perspective that where we forced people to come out.
It's your story. So
I
you have to live your story. If you
Exactly.
feel that your customers need to come there is because you're pouring, I would say, hard work, you're pouring creativity in that cup. It's the right blend, right moisture, right machines, right temperature, right? That's your story. And stick to that story.
Plus the thing is that the perfect product comes out when you're there in person. That's why even with gelato, you'll understand when people stand in that line. Now imagine, the temperatures and all, like you mentioned.
Yeah,
that
totally
messed up,
agree, yeah.
People have a bad day.
I mean, 100%. I agree to Rudy's point, all in all. Like, the client we get at the restaurant always comes back. The client we get on Zomato and Swiggy, something or the other gets a little problematic. Maybe the delivery rider is not taking it properly. Maybe the packet fell down and you picked it up.
It's the experience, right? For sure. No matter what, your burger, the way you're talking about it, is also when you serve, you're talking. Right? You can't say it in the packaging that everything is handcrafted. You can't say it in the packaging that everything is built from scratch. That happens when he or she takes a bite and there is sauces flowing down from your gutter
I would
lips.
love to work without all these aggregators if I could. Like right now, I'm just more
That's okay. How does that?
showing the brand there, but exceptional when it comes to dining, when it comes to people coming to the outlet and having that experience.
Now we're going to go deep down into your brands, right? I start with BURG'IN first. What does it take? What's the capital expenditure? What does it take? And a follow-up question to everyone: can your quality be scaled? Firstly, what does it take? So there is someone out there who is as obsessive as you, right? Didn't have resources, still making it out there. Every day, you also have some larger brands you are competing with in a space and you're telling your own story. What does it take? I want to get into that grit and resilience that you have.
I think as Parth said earlier in the podcast, it's more about jumping into it. It takes a lot of, you have to believe in yourself. That's one of the main things.
But every day someone comes and tells you that I'm sorry, this is not done. You have 9 naysayers in your life and it's just your own voice and perhaps your immediate family members saying, you know what, you be, chalte bado, chalte chalo. What does it take? Does it break you at times?
It does, for sure it does. A lot of times you think to yourself, why you're doing this when there's no one backing you in that corner. A lot of people will back you 100%. There won't be everyone who's backlashing at you and saying you cannot do this. A lot of people do back you, but it gets difficult, for sure.
When you're putting your creativity out there, right, and when you get a good feedback, you feel good. When you get a bad feedback, you don't feel good. I want to understand, when you get that bad feedback, what happens to you and how much does it, what is the unit economics of setting up a place like that?
So if I go to the figures, I think setting up any place, like a burger restaurant for that matter, you need something about 30 to 35 lakh rupees in hand.
That's pure capital expenditure?
Pure capital expenditure. Except that you need running.
Your operating costs?
You can operate in 35, you can operate for about 6 months.
But ideally, what is the runway you would want to have in terms of your investment? for you to not to think about it, right? And because
I didn't have the, I think I didn't have the capability to think about it at that moment when I started, because I didn't have that runway what I would want.
what is it that would you want today?
I think initially 50 lakhs would be a very good.
Which includes the capital expenditure?
Yes, which I think it is enough to prove a model.
Hmm.
To show people that yes, it works.
Hmm.
It is a really good amount to get there, get some feedback, do everything you want.
Hmm. Where does a normal person raise 50 lakhs from?
Right
Because the
now,
banks are not going to give you any money because you're purely in your
I think-
concept stage,
I
right?
think so. There are a lot of places now in this like new age world, whatever has been happening. A lot of people raise money from where they come from, nowhere. They don't have any backing, no support. It's all about going out there and pitching to the right person. So there will be 100, 200 people who maybe you won't hit the mark, where people will say no. But maybe the 99% people will say yes. I'm gonna back you. I'm gonna support you. So there are people like that. And I know my friends as well who just got a funding from, like, they haven't even tapped their family. They just got funding from somewhere, maybe someone sitting in the States, maybe someone sitting in Gujarat. Maybe. So there are people, it's all about believing yourself and just going out there. It gets the run, it takes a little more while to get to that level where you can raise funding and start.
And in your field, do all the equipments is readily available in India?
So some machines are, I think we use a sous vide machine, like an emulsion circulator. So which you do not get the best quality in India. Usually, if you get something from India, it will shut down in about 6 months. Or it won't work, the temperature won't retain as well. So some machines we get from imported from outside. And the majority of the machines you do get in India, but then again they're imported from outside. I think China is one of the most.
You were born after 2000, am I right?
1999.
Right. Almost at the cusp of 2000, right? Now when you kind of look at India from there, you're 26 right now. When you see ease of doing business, licensing, Gurgaon, evolution, what is your mind process? How do you process all of this? What's happening currently in India? Because you chose to stay back in India. Some of your friends are still there. You came back because you believed in the India story. You believed in yourself, right?
I think it's more about so we've grown up seeing foreign brands, and every brand I would talk about, maybe a KFC, maybe like if I talk about the F&B industry, maybe a Starbucks, we've grown up seeing these brands. Domino's, Pizza Hut, McDonald's, I think we all have had ample amount of times maybe going out with family, out with friends, and going to a parties. Domino's is always there. Like, it's shifting. Now a lot of people are ordering from places that are built in India, like local, and they're doing exceptional stuff. It's not just they don't want to order from Domino's, but they're doing better stuff. So I suspect India can do so much more in terms of family brands, because we have the same level of we are taught the same level. We are taught, we know, we have the knowledge to start something. We can scale something.
Let me ask you a question. Because your father is a pilot, you must have traveled the world as well with him. Obviously, those are the perks you get, the tickets and everything. Your own stint, whatever you did, again the Michelin star. Is there a reference point of a burger for you somewhere in the world out there? That, you know what, that's what I want to create here, which I believe that the Indian taste palette will appreciate. Do you have that reference? Not a brand, imagery, taste, nuances, anything at all?
So, a reference, I want that product to be something where you don't subject it to spice, you don't subject it to a specific taste. A lot of people in India, a lot of people in North Delhi, they like the little food towards the spicier side. So we at BURG'IN, we focus more on flavor. Flavor is the main thing. So everything is layered with flavor. Nothing is almost too spicy or too, like, it all rounds up to make you feel that you've had a good burger. That's what we're focusing on. Our focus is
There are two audiences listening to you. One is somebody who can fund your business, and one is who has never tasted your burger, but is your consumer. What would you like to tell them?
I think something I like to think about it.
Don't worry, I'll come back to you. Think about it. Let me know when you're ready. All right? These two questions.
Sure.
The minute you think gelato, from an Italian perspective, you still had many Italian restaurants in India, right? Obviously, then you create your own moat, your distinctive taste. It's both the food and the service, which is out there. But I come back to where I personally also kind of got the attention was, there was a time for like about a month and my feed was completely with Firenze, right? And I believe it was absolutely organic, right? It was the word of mouth and people came there. There were these long queues like how you had at Bene in Mumbai, those queues, Rajeshwaram in Bangalore. You know, Nizam has always had that, right? Comes from that legacy. Did you expect this when you were?
So I think this is basically a dream, honestly. Like this is something where you want to go, but you don't expect. Like, you know, you don't know when it will come, but you always want it to come. So it's just you manifest it rather than expecting it.
You manifested that there could be the lines.
I still
there.
remember there is this conversation with my landlord, like, because as I told you, it was supposed to be a bloom.
Yeah.
And when he came one day, like, he was so surprised. He was like, your bloom is pretty purple and this doesn't seem to be like purple at all. And I'm like, yeah, I think we're not doing bloom anymore. We're doing a new brand. He got like really scared. He was like, you know, you have a up and running brand which is doing really well. I've tasted your product. Why are you changing it? And blah, blah, blah. I just told him one thing. Uncle, don't worry. Give me 2 weeks. You'll have a queue outside.
Oh, wow. Beautiful.
I just told him that with full confidence. It was just a manifestation. Deep down, I was scared as shit.
That's good.
But with full confidence, I was like, "Don't worry, uncle. There will be a queue. Just give me 2 weeks. 1 week will take to open. 1 week will take to open."
Did the confidence, just tell me something, did the confidence come from the fact you did enough R&D, you knew your taste, you had the right machines, you had the right training done? Did the confidence come from there?
The confidence was coming from a lot of places, I would say. One, that as I told you, after Cicchetti, I had a little more confidence on what I'm building. Two, the research was pretty well done, and when we did initial of our trials, we were really happy with the product, and we knew that, you know, this is something which Delhi is like badly missing. So we knew that, you know, we have created something different. We knew that the branding, the positioning, the product, everything is different to the market. So we knew that there will be certainly appreciation for the product. Of course, we didn't expect this kind of appreciation, but yes, we knew that, you know, people would be really happy to have this kind of a product, because as India, as an audience, as like we've been talking about it, I've seen that with more time, we have been like, you know, we are increasing our incomes. Like, you know, our average middle class now is traveling to international markets. Earlier, traveling to London was like a thing. Like traveling to Italy was like a big thing. Oh my God, like that person is coming from Italy. Now it's not that big of a thing. Now people normally travel to Italy or London or Paris or wherever. They get exposed to good quality. They know that it's coming at a cost. They're ready to pay for it. The gap is what needs to be filled. So we are seeing good brands like BURG'IN is trying to fill a great gap in a good quality burger. We're trying to fill a good quality gap in ice cream, which is what I thought that is missing big time.
Is this an expensive proposition?
The gelato part of it is yes. If you tell me how did I start, I started with like bare minimum capital. Like I cut corners in every way possible. I started with a very cheap coffee machine, extremely cheap equipment in my kitchen. My total base kitchen expense was 8 lakhs.
You're talking about Firenze or the other restaurant?
The one I started at 21.
Got it.
So Firenze itself is a very expensive proposition in the way that, because we are building a premium brand, I wanted to invest in the right quality equipment. But the mindset that I have now towards equipment and investing in equipment is very different to what I had when I was 21. So when I was 21, having the equipment was more important than having good quality equipment.
Got it.
It was like, you don't have the amount of resources that you need for this kind of a machinery, because these are really, really expensive pieces of equipment.
Would you mind sharing what's the total capex?
Yes, I mean, for Firenze, not less than 1.5 crores.
Just for the capex, right?
Just for the capex. It's like, because our pozzettis come for more than 30 lakhs, our the displays,
an average ice cream display, so Indian ice cream displays come at like 70-80K, an average, a good Italian display comes at 7-8 lakhs. The pozzetti, because it's completely made out of stainless steel and it's imported, it comes at like about 30 lakhs.
But tell me something. What happens from an AMC perspective? How do you maintain them?
So-
do you have in India?
Yes.
Agencies
We
who
have
maintain these products.
limited, but yes.
Oh, you do.
So all the people who are, so that's why I suggest people that, if you're buying from Italy, don't just buy directly from Italy.
Got it.
Try to buy it through
the
someone.
distributors.
So we have distributors here who are importing that quality
Got it.
of equipment. And even if there is some equipment which is not being imported, you can tell the distributor.
You're absolutely right. So obviously the scale that we are kind of building over here also.
Like I am facing issues with this thing, as you mentioned. Like for example, we have to open more outlets of Firenze.
Yeah.
Now the pozzetti bins that we use, the carrot pins, they're not made in India. And I have been trying with a lot of vendors, no one is able to make them. And importing them costs me 10,000 for one pan, which is insanely expensive. And we need to have like 150, 200 pans. So these kind of problems arise. We're trying to find solutions to them. But I think this is the part of process. Like if you're an early mover in something like this, I think the set of challenges are different. So we're now trying to tackle them.
Look at China. Some of these equipments are made in China as well. There are certain Indian, I know it for a fact, distributors who are based out of China, who are sourcing for Indian companies from China.
Yes.
So they have the arm, and they're Indians who speak Chinese in China. And so you talk to you in your native language, he speaks in Chinese,
Yeah.
Mandarin or whatever.
Yep.
And gets you. So that's a good direction for you as well.
No, of course.
Yeah.
This is definitely a thing for like these things for sure. Like I was asked, like why aren't you investing in like something like the same pozzetti but Chinese maybe? Like you would save a lot of cost. But for me, it was more like associating myself with that brand. Like if he is a great brand to be associated with, or Isa, so I'm getting it from them. I'm getting the AMC. I know it's built for durability. I know their legacy is there. It's like if you're buying a Mercedes, you know that the car is gonna come with its perks.
5 years ago, 6 years ago, you were in that London back-end kitchen doing a KST job, and for just viewers, KST means washing dishes.
Yes.
Right? with some chemicals which are not conducive to your hands and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
your hands dry.
pretty much, right. Do you today also obsess exactly the same way after 6 years?
I think
or even more?
The passion for the obsession for the industry is more than that, I would say. Like because now you're looking at it from a macro lens, and now the prime purpose of me being in this industry is actually not to just drive profits. Profits, of course, are needed to sustain the business. Otherwise, the point is like, you have
the
to run the
foundation
show.
of a business.
Yeah, you have to run the show,
Period.
basically.
Yeah.
But secondly, one of the other reasons which I'm really in for it is that I want to provide things, I want to provide food which people have not seen. I want to contribute to this F&B society of India. I want to bring some value to the society so that there is something which people appreciate.
How does a 26-year-old take all this adulation coming to you? It can go into your head, right?
I would say yes. I mean, but for me, I think because I have seen I was slapped 10 times before getting the pat on my back, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So I have faced all of my hardships, not all of my hardships. Like there are challenges still, there will be challenges always.
Of course.
But the challenges ka scale keeps on changing. So my scale of challenges, like I have faced very different challenges when I was in Bloom. And I was having a hard time. There was the thing that you mentioned. 9 out of 10 customers came to me and tell me, it's not gonna work, bro. Shut up shop. I have heard customers walking by my outlet, oh, this is just crap, don't try it. Like these things. So I used to take them in. It used to sometimes like really sit on me, and like I used to get really heavy weight, burdened, and used to really undermine myself. I am glad that my parents used to push me out of that. They would be like, they would keep motivating me that, oh, you don't care about them, you do what you're doing, you're the best, blah, blah, blah. But that same spark of inspiration was always there. And I kept on
Now
pushing.
just imagine if those people did not criticize you. Do you think you would have, that grit and resilience would have formed?
Oh, I think
The
it was
fact that
important
9
for me.
people criticize you and saying, I'll show you.
I think it was important for me to have that kind of experience, because that taught me what people want in the
And I'll
market.
tell you something about criticism, right? You younglings. Sometimes they criticize from a good place, it's just they don't know how to put in words. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. I wanted to be that, I couldn't become that, so I'd start criticizing. Understand what I'm saying?
That's
I
true.
also wanted to open a cafe, I wanted to open a Firenze. I couldn't do it. You have done it, right? It's just a natural reaction, and that comes out from criticism. But from a different perspective, you feel, okay, you know what, I'm going to show it to you. You always need that goddamn push, I will show it to you. That obsession is what makes business successful. That 10 people coming and telling you, you know what, it's not going to work, and you say, you know what, let me just kind of show it to you. Michael Phelps, when he would, I think his first Olympics or the second one which he did, and it's a beautiful story, and someone kind of told him, I said, you won't be able to kind of do this, right? There's no way you'll be able to break the world record. That goddamn guy went and broke 8 world records in a single Olympics. I think it was the Beijing one, if I'm not mistaken. So he got that kind of push. You look at, do you guys follow basketball?
Yes.
Man, I'm telling you. Man, I'm telling you. It's not the question of Knicks winning or something. That guy, Jalen Brunson, man, in the last 20 days, the amount of stuff that I have learned about him and the criticism that he has kind of faced, right? Winning 2 national level championship, and yet people writing him off, and now winning NBA for the Knicks after 53 years. For him, the fact the last 10 years, how he picked himself up every single day when the criticism was, oh man, I'm telling you, I can build another 10-year business just looking at that guy Jalen Brunson right now. MARCEL'S,
Yes.
tell me.
So, I'll be honest, I had a slight advantage. That 60 square feet of space, we had that already. So for me, one advantage that I had was no rental. But still, I tried to cut corners wherever I could. So one of my major things where I cut corners, which worked for me perfectly, was I designed the space from scratch. There was no architect involved. Even though logo I designed, even those were teddy bear that we have on our cups, were designed by my brother's fiance. So she helped me out with that. Apart from that, everything that you see, the woodwork, the windows, and even the paint around, even the tiles that you see at the back, they were done by just 2 people. One, we always had this family carpenter. He built that thing in like 5 months. He put everything by hand. He didn't use any machines. He used a saw. Even the painter, there was just one guy who's been a family painter. I got him on board. Everything was from their heart. So for me, because there was no rental, I got them on board, family guys. So with the machinery, I'd say the overall cost for me was around 15 to 20 lakhs for a 60 square feet of space. Now, even with such a small space, how did it go like to 20 lakhs? Is purely because the machinery and the equipment. Just how Parth also mentioned, you can't mess around with temperatures. With coffee, you can't mess around with a good machine. And I could have gone for a cheaper machine as well. But the thing is, you can go for cheap machines, but at the end of the day, why do people sometimes buy like a Mercedes?
For a non-F&B person, do you get all these machines in India? Are they
You
available?
get coffee machines in India as well, but the one I purchased is completely.
Got it.
So it's a T.A.L.K bubble. That's not even the top end model. I always wanted a La Marzocco, but again, I didn't require that much output. So I went for a T.A.L.K bubble, and apart from that, we had the fridge and the deep freezer. I spent more on the equipment because I could have gone for a cheaper machine or like a cheaper thing as well. But again, a more expensive machine doesn't mean that it's coming from outside. That's why it's expensive. It's expensive because it provides that consistency over time. And it helps you sustain.
So for the viewer again, just for them to know, assume you have the same beans, but if you don't have a good machine, is the output different?
100%. Because the main game is not even the machine, it's in the grinder. So if you have a good grinder, so what happens is when you put the coffee beans in the hopper where the coffee is grinded, so a normal cheap grinder will shake every setting. So because you have to set the hopper setting to the grind size. So you have to change each and every setting for how many seconds the coffee comes out, the ground coffee comes out, at what level does the grind size come out at. So everything needs to be set. On a cheap grinder, I'd say it's sometimes inconsistent. But with a more expensive grinder, it's more consistent as it doesn't move a lot. So they have more premium blades inside. They have more premium setting.
Got it.
So it's not about it's expensive because it's coming from outside. It's expensive because they are providing that kind of service, and that machine
Got it.
is providing that kind of consistency.
Consistent
in the long
output.
run.
Even the output.
Yeah, even the output.
Yeah.
So because they're specifically made for all of this.
Can quality be scaled?
100%. Quality is meant to be scaled because I feel that for me personally,
Could you have Ruri has 40 Marcel's
yes,
all over India, but Rudy sits only in the def call Marcel. Because coffee is as much as about experience, let's say in Raipur, where you would have your Marcel outlet, but you are here, would you sweat on the fact that I'm not sure what my customer actually is getting a service over there? Or?
now I do have two answers for that. One is yes, it's a scalable model. Yes, MARCEL'S is a scalable model. I can scale it to 50, 60 outlets as well. But do I want to scale it? No. Why? Because I feel MARCEL'S, I don't want it to be in I don't want it to be a coffee brand where people are like, oh, like let's say for example, there's a MARCEL'S in every neighborhood, right? Let's say you're walking around the road and you're like, oh guys, let's go to MARCEL'S for a cup of coffee, and you're like, no, I mean,
You want Marcel to be a destination? An experience destination?
I'd say
Where if you want to have regular coffee, you can go, but if you want to have
yes.
coffee,
No, but like the thing with MARCEL'S is we already have like 80 to 85% of our guests are repeat guests, and the rest are still coming out to try coffee because they haven't experienced MARCEL'S as of
Ruri,
now.
tell me something. You have a blend in mind,
Yes.
right? And the blend is there. You like that blend. Your guests. Would you change that blend?
No,
Why not?
because my concept started with the mindset of that I'm catering to the people who have coffee every day. The moment I change my blend and I give people options, I'm giving people to dictate what the brand is doing. So as a founder, then I have to start adapting to a lot of people. And the moment I start adapting to a lot of people, I'm becoming the brand of the masses. My concept is purely catering to the people who drink coffee on a daily basis.
Would you call yourself a purist?
Ooh, to a certain extent, yes.
Would you dilute your experience by having matchas and other stuff?
We already have matchas and
You do
teas,
have.
but the thing is, do I prefer putting matcha? So I've been asked this question a lot, my friends, and specifically female friends, because there's this thing where people are like, girls have a lot of matcha, and even boys do, in fact. but-
Is it a fact?
See, I recently saw two tall Haryanvi boys having matcha at Bloom.
So is it a fact? Is it a fact?
Yeah, but I think so.
It's just because it's more of a social trend, and it's basically more of a because there's a color contrast.
Ah.
Because it's green. We've had people come up to us and be like, "Oh, you don't have transparent cups because we want to click
Okay.
on the matcha." I'm
Got
like,
it. Got
the
it.
lid is off. There you go. So,
Got
but that's the thing. Like, it's not about diluting. My concept is still coffee. Like people ask me, you have matcha? Like I'm like, yes, whatever is there on the menu, I will make sure it is 100% perfect, and you will get the best product over here. Like whatever you have, you will.
So you have a chance to scale, but you don't want to because you just want everything right here for you to even think about.
No, it's not about having everything right there. It's purely because I want it to be super exclusive. Let's say, for
Got
example,
it.
like the example I was giving. Let's say you're going, like, I don't want to mention any names. Let's say there's a coffee shop in every colony, right?
I got it.
So you're like, oh no, I just had coffee from there yesterday or in the morning. Oh, let's go to MARCEL'S today. So it becomes like an occasional thing. You're
Got
like, MARCEL'S becomes an occasion for people. And apart from that, the people who are in the neighborhood and around MARCEL'S, and like let's say the South Delhi region, we already have a lot of repeat guests who are coming in.
If you had access to capital,
If I had access to, sorry?
unlimited capital right now, how big would Marcel look wherever you are?
In terms of outlets or in terms of size of
Both.
one outlet?
Both.
Both. So, like I said, in the longer run, you do need a sit-down space. You need a little bit of space. Even though people come, and so there's a ledge outside MARCEL'S and Defense Colony, and that wasn't meant to sit. So I've seen people sit there for days and sit there for hours. I'm like, I can get you a table at the Turkey project, which is right next door, which is also a restaurant. They're like, no, we want to sit here. We've had fights for that ledge.
So how big a space would you want?
I would want around, realistically, I'd take like 500-600 square feet. I know that's quite big for a cafe as well. With especially
But would you make money?
Yes.
The return on
100%.
investment would be...
Yes, it's there because, like I said, with MARCEL'S, when we opened up, we initially started with like 15-20 lakhs, and we saw we broke even in like 2.5 months.
Got it.
So that was quite good for us. Of course, Instagram helped, and like we were discussing right before the podcast as well.
Instagram helped because the founder in you sold the story of MARCEL'S every single day.
Exactly, that's the thing.
So Instagram didn't help. It's your story on Instagram that helped.
Yeah, I totally agree, but again, Instagram as a medium.
Yeah, of course, it's a medium.
Yeah, so
you would have found another medium. Knowing you would have found another medium if Instagram
No, but
didn't
like
work.
again, 100%. I believe that if someone is starting a business and they don't have that much funds, those many funds for like a marketing team or a production team, they should definitely go for like making videos themselves, because I've realized I have a production team now on board as well. I get videos made from them as well. I make videos myself, edit themselves as well. If I get 5,000 views on the production team one, I get 20-30,000 on the one that I make personally. Because people don't want to see something professional. Same with coffee shops. People are done with fine dining options. People want more community led, and people want more like, they basically just want a home outside of their homes. And hence MARCEL'S is a place which is tiny, and that's why the ambience
Does
and
it
the lighting as well.
cater to an 18 to a 50-year-old?
Yes, it does. It does. Because we're situated in Defence Colony, which is now also a hub for a lot of lawyers and corporate people. We do have a lot of senior citizens as well that are dropping by to drink coffee. I mean, I've seen a person in a car that is going to the Supreme Court have a MARCEL'S coffee with the teddy bear. So
Nice.
I was like, that's fancy having a teddy bear.
Nice, love it.
Actually, I have a very interesting point which I want to add in the quality can be scaled part of things, because we have been working on it, and I realized that if you have, for example, BURG'IN also says that we are making everything from scratch, and for example at Firenze we're doing every single thing from scratch, like even the pistachio butter that we're putting in a pistachio gelato in-house, every single thing. So in that, I think you can for sure scale, but the way you scale is really different. In the way, for example, I am making my own lady finger biscuits, my own coffee liqueur for my tiramisu gelato. But if I have to make from 100, if I have to make 500 kgs of that same gelato, now the bigger machine, okay, it will do the job. But now I have to bake more biscuits also. I have to make more coffee liqueur also. So you have to think like that as well. Like, so now you need more ovens, as well as you need more syrups. Which is why a lot of big brands who are like scaling to the masses have a very set product, as he mentioned, like it's an open packet and deploy the product. Why? Because in that way, you can really scale easily.
So is it safe to say you can't, for an artisanal product like this, right? Don't view it as an e-com product or a SKU product.
The unit economics will make less sense.
Yeah, unless I think you have a centralized base. I think that's one of the most important things for something premium to work.
I still think an artisanal place, this is just my opinion, is of course the work that goes on to the actual product, which is the real hero, but it's also the person who's serving that product, and is the complete package.
Absolutely.
Right? One of the two. Like those lines won't be there, the senior citizen won't come. They like the fact that it is artisanal and it is crafted as a service. So 1 + 1 over here is 11, and not, to your point as well, they see you slug it out there, right? Every single day. You're there, right?
Always.
Always there. Yeah, synonymous with that goddamn place, right?
We were talking about this.
Yeah, and that's what they really appreciate. So when you say is that 90%, they see that story, and that's what they like. But you haven't answered my 2 questions. Have you thought about it?
Yeah.
Talk to us, UV. If you had access to those 2 people, what would you tell them?
So I don't think I'm ready for investment.
Okay.
Like I still feel like I'm still working on my systems. I'm working on a lot of things.
Somebody will just come with patient capital and say, I don't want anything from you. Yeah, take 20 lakhs. Not any.
I think
I don't want anything from you. I like the way you work, right? Whenever you make it big, return it back at whatever valuation at that point in time. But it will be called BURG'IN plus KV, let's say. No way?
No.
Excellent.
I will
Why?
wait. I'll build it on my own without anyone's interference. See, so we 3 people who do it together. Me, Ayush. Ayush joined me when I was starting the place out, and Sanjana. Sanjana is she's just graduated from ISH. So all of us, like, we believe in the same thing. We do not want anything for now because we're still thinking about how we can make things work to a level where they can be scaled. So we have already figured out the kitchen part to a maximum extent as we were before a cloud kitchen. So kitchen was our main focus in the first year. So we have that part, but we're still thinking about different avenues, how to get things better, get things rolling, how to do a better, maybe we've just got into service. So before we were more of a kitchen place and a cloud kitchen with an outdoor seating for 6 people. But now we've just got into service. And I'm the only person who takes care of that service. So it's
Because that come naturally to you?
I think, yeah.
Are you a better chef or a better server?
I think I would. Now that's a little tough, a tough question. But,
Okay. But no, you need to answer that. Are you a better chef or a better server?
I think.
If I were you, I'll answer it this way. When I'm back of the house, I'm a better chef. When I'm in front of the house, I'm a better server. Right or wrong?
Absolutely.
Yeah, pretty good server. I think when I like go out, talk to my main motive is to whenever someone comes in, they should leave a little happier. That's the main goal behind everything, because food, I think, connects people and it can get that.
People are listening to you. What
Yeah.
is so unique about BURG'IN?
I think everything. We are, I think, some of the only brands that do every little thing from scratch. Except Coca-Cola, nothing on my menu is made by anyone else.
That's fine. That's just the process of it.
Even chilies, even ingredients.
That's still the process. Why should they come to you? What is that in that burger which will really, their palate would say, you know what, I've never tasted this before in my life. What is
I
it?
think also because all the recipes are self-curated. Like every thing on the menu, there is no specific sauce. The garlic mayo we make, there is no garlic.
Can we say that burger is your story?
Yeah.
Your R&D, your stories.
Yeah,
There is no.
like the
A
whole,
burger is a burger is a burger, but my burger is my story.
Yeah.
You know, if I wanted to put, let's say, less of paprika in there, that's still my story, to the fact which I believe you will like my story. I am the artist and you'll like
It's
my
all
story.
done by us as a team, and we make it like there's no book to it. This is something that just happens with trials and errors. You keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it.
If you run out of money, will you sell? If somebody gives you 20 crores tomorrow.
I see, I'm way too emotional for like to sell it, but I think this is the right way a lot of people would sell to and move on to bigger things. And maybe I have no idea if I could answer that question correctly as of now, unless that thing really happens. But
So don't.
yeah.
Because there's something beautiful that you're building, right? The story and the journey is worth much more, right? Right now, just focus on that build.
I mean, that's how I'm
Just ensure that you're well capitalized.
That's
And
all
it's
I'm trying
okay
to do, yeah.
sometimes to have a patient capital guy coming on board who will not alter the way you think. And there are many people out there. So don't say ever no to money, for the simple reason you'll always need money, because there's always a bad cycle. Another COVID cycle is a bad cycle. Another natural disaster is a bad cycle. Another FSSAI license changing is a bad cycle. You never know, right? And so always be on the lookout. Be always well capitalized. At least a 1-year runway ahead of you. You owe it to your customers. More importantly, you owe it to your employees as well.
Yeah.
Let's think about it.
Yeah.
Right? Let's go towards more veering towards the last section of it, right? There was a 16-year-old you and there is a 26-year-old you. There is a 16-year-old viewer and there is a 26-year-old viewer and there is a 40-year-old viewer who perhaps they all you ask anybody in India, you think तुमको क्या चाहिए? उसे मेरे को कैफे खोलना है.
Absolutely.
Right or wrong?
100%.
Nobody will say मेरे को है ना pharmaceutical का एक API मिला है. You know, so
मेरा retirement plan.
You know, in that paracetamol, you know, if there is one more ingredient, I will add and make it into paracetamol 2x. Nobody talks about that. Everybody talks about Airbnb. एक फार्म हाउस चाहिए, गार्डन चाहिए, you know, पाथ चाहिए, पीछे माउंटेन्स चाहिए, क्लोथिंग ब्रांड चाहिए, right? But at least they're dreaming. Yeah, I like that fact, right? For whatever reason, they did not have the resources, maybe the guts, maybe the circumstances. You know, I always tell people a middle class, when you're 30-year-old and 40-year-old, you know, a middle class man specifically. I'm only talking about a man. I'm no one to talk about a lady. And he says, जो आदमी अपने पीछे वाले खीसे से अपना बटवा निकाल के वापस वो बटवा अपने खीसे में डालता है, उसे आदमी नहीं, उसे बाप कहते हैं. Because that's what he sacrifices. You see, when a man becomes a father, then he'll think about his family. And then he'll say, you know what, he looks at his own aspiration and he says, ugly part. Then he looks at his own aspiration, ugly part. But all of them are listening to you, right?
Yep.
Talk about your hardships. Don't talk about now that Firenze, Bloom, the Italian restaurant has become really famous, right? But talk
Absolutely.
about what you go through every single day as your emotion.
So I think one really important thing which I want to tell everyone, being like, you know, hearing the statistic of 90% restaurants fail in the first year, sorry, not 10 years. But yeah, this statistic is becoming really popular, and there's a reason behind it, which I wanted a little bit, like, you know, dive deep into. So the barriers to entry in this industry seem to be really less. You don't have to have, if you were to open a jewelry store, you need hundreds of crores of rupees to start it. If you want to have a factory, industry, if you want to have a paracetamol tablet you want to make, you have to have a lab, you have to have like connects for it. F&B seems to be an easier way out. It is glamorous. You have friends and family swaying by, you have people appreciating you, you're exposed to so many people, looks really nice. But the thing is, the people who are dreaming need to ask themselves, are they really passionate about that dream, or they just want to have it? If the question is, if the answer is like, no, I just want to chill with my friends and just have it, it'll be harder for you to sustain it, because when you dive deep into it, you'll realize that, you know, for example, I'm very passionate about pizzas, and if I'm doing a pizzeria, you'll realize the pizzeria is only 10% about the pizzas and 90% about operations, staff, license, fire, blah, 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 everything. So you need to have the wit to be able to sail through that. And if you're really passionate about pizzas, you're like, no, I have to build the next pizza empire. I have to contribute, like, you know, I have this pizza which Delhi needs.
Then you will work towards it no matter what happens to you. So just having that question in your head is really important. How passionate are you? Because you cannot be enough prepared, as we've already agreed upon. Like, you know, there can never be a stage in your, like, you know, career that you'll be like, you know, oh, I have a great product, I'm ready for it, let's launch. There can be stages, but most of the times you don't even know what to sell. You just want to have a cafe, which is the normal case with like everyone we're talking to. So in that case, just ask yourself, how deeply do I want a cafe? Do I want it like just for the sake of it, or do I actually want to contribute something that, you know, I want to build this thing for the industry, I want to build this thing for the society. Every business is basically based out of necessity. You cater to a gap, you cater to a demand, and you have a successful business.
Let me ask you a follow-up question. You wake up tomorrow, hypothesis, you wake up tomorrow in the morning, and instead of Firenze, let's just call a brand La Dolce Vita.
Okay.
Right? And opens up maybe next door. And you just woken up.
Yep.
As good as you. What goes through you now?
So I think if it's right next door, honestly, I really feel that there are two there are types of customers that you have. One customer is coming back to you because they like the product. One customer is like, you know, most of the customers actually come back to you because the product is not just the product itself, it's a sum of products.
Correct.
The service that you give, the team that you have, the vibes that you've built. There are so many things which sum up to be like, you know, that thing, that the next best thing can give them an alternative, but
your client will be your client for a brand.
Absolutely.
In fact, that is the reason I always tell people, like, even if you ask me for a recipe, I can write it down on a note, post it to you. You don't even have to ask me twice for it. I'm like, yeah, this is my recipe, just make it. To a competitor also, I have no problem. But the fact is, if he opens another brand of his, he'll have to build it through the same techniques, through the same vibe. And there's this thing. If you eat dal bukhara at Bukhara restaurant, if you eat dal makhani at Bukhara restaurant, you'll love it. You'll be like, oh yeah, I've come to Bukhara, I have had this dal makhani, amazing. You taste the same dal makhani at a different restaurant, at a multi-cuisine restaurant, the same product, you'll not find it nice. You'll be like, yeah, it's nice. I mean, of course, you'll not find it bad, but you'll not be commenting on it like, you'll be commenting on it on Bukhara, like, oh my God, this dal makhani is amazing. So the product placement is extremely important. You cannot just focus on building 5-10 Gelateria, 5-10 gelatos on your menu. You need to place yourselves like that.
This was not taught in business school, was it?
No.
This is lived experience.
Hardcore experience.
So true. What
see
you
that?
just said.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I have people come in my previous outlet, which was a cloud kitchen, drink the same shakes which I used to make there, and then come into my new place and tell me, are these different? They feel so much better. They feel lighter. Because I have a sitting now,
It's the placement,
I have
right?
the experience, I can give a much
And
rounder,
it's just,
much better experience.
you know what, when you think consumerism, don't expect their consumers to be rational, because for every setting they think very differently, the same consumer, right? The same placement of a water bottle, perhaps in a general store, Kinley will taste very different to perhaps Kinley at an airport, which may be at 400 rupees. It just tastes different, right? It's just the way people kind of think. So the placement is extremely important.
Yeah, major part.
And yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, also just like he said, consistency beats talent every time. That is something he said to round it
And
off.
do you agree to that?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. It's all about going out and doing it.
There's
More than
there's so many case studies with these, and there's a saying that in F&B, if you're selling shit, sell shit consistently. So that is quite a thing which has become true, because you
And
build your
hope it
clientele
doesn't
around
stink.
it. Oh no. It's just a saying.
Yeah,
but your product has to be
Yeah,
consistent.
you're a young entrepreneur, from perhaps a little bit more lived experience than you. Competition is good.
Yes.
Firstly, it bloody keeps you grounded. And when you're an aggressive person like Rudy, you will love even more competition, because what happens with aggressive people and a founder mindset, you start looking more inwards rather than outwards. You do not change the product because, let's say, somebody has put a little bit more air in your gelato or something of that sort, right? You say, you know what, I need to just get better at what I do. And then you start looking at your own small little gaps. So the reason you are good is because your competition keeps you on your toes. And bloody pray, UV, that you have competition right next door. The world's best burger joint should open.
we're still going to do better.
It will keep you on your toes, because that's the kind of person that you are as well. Right?
I just like
go ahead.
to add on to that, the competition bit. One thing that I've always realized, and that I always go by now, I didn't have this mindset, but is that competition was cool when you were doing your R&D. Oh, this guy is going to be my competition. But when I jumped into the concept, like when I started MARCEL'S, it started to feel that competition it's happening over here. The ones at the top are collaborating. I'd like to take a look I'd like to take a look at Firenze.
Super.
He is collaborating with a lot of brands instead of competing, because our goal together is not to compete with our existing, the ones existing in the industry. Like, I won't go and compete with the subco. Instead, I like to collaborate with a subco or collaborate with a Blue Tokai and build that community together. Because we are not here to fight, we're here to educate. We're here to, explain things to people, make people feel more welcome towards the industry.
You just bloody obsess so much inwards that customer out there will see the truth in you and will be with you.
You know, this is another thing which
But
I
that's
want
a
to.
beautiful thing what he said.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Collaboration is
That's
Beautiful.
the key.
Yeah.
And you know, because as adding to the point, like, you know, why a Firenze, why a Berg, you know, why would someone go to your brand? Because see, now the reason why chef-led restaurants are really, really coming up is because every chef has a story. It's not like the chef is great or
Absolutely.
not.
Yeah.
And the chef, like, you know, जैसे हम कहते हैं हर घर की दाल अलग है. Every household has a different dal. The same ingredient might taste different
Correct.
with a different hand. So that chef is trying to bring his taste in front of you, and his taste is not just his taste right now. His taste is what he's been eating from his childhood, what he's gone through in his college. Whereas he, for example, if Yuvraj has been in Paris, he's been in ISH, he's been a boy from Bulandshahr. All of these experiences add, and that taste profile is a very unique taste profile catered to him. I have been in Italy, in London, in Paris, in Delhi. So my roots are a Delhi boy, and my exposure is Italian and European. So these things combine. That's why, for example, I have a Biscoff gelato, for example, in my gelateria. It's not authentic. It's Delhi. It's what I love, and it's what my audience loves.
I told you, it's your story.
It's your story.
Rudy, I'm going to come back to you. Again, there's a 16-year-old there, there's a 20-year-old there. The same Rudy, 16-year-old, same Rudy, 20-year-old, a creative person, but not coming from, I would say, a privileged background, right? And has this aspiration. Genuinely loves to serve, genuinely wants to be in the hospitality space, has no idea how to raise money, has no idea, looks around, 10 people are always telling him, ये नहीं हो सकता. I have a different theory to that. किसी की मत सुनो.
I personally, I 100% agree with you.
Just listen to yourself.
No, I 100% agree with you, because for me, I've always gone by this theory of you always take positive criticism. That's good. You need to take criticism. Without criticism, your business won't succeed. You won't be successful.
Absolutely.
So you
किसी
need
की
that
मत सुनो,
positive
करो.
criticism. You do that. You take that criticism.
What would you tell them? What would you tell them?
The only thing that I've realized in recent times is that stop doing it for others. Stop thinking what others think of you. Because if I am concerned of what they're thinking about me, then I'm technically breathing for them and not for myself.
How do you handle failure?
With God's grace, of course, I've had ups and downs, but not like a heavy failure as of now.
What kind of a personality, or how do you think you'll react to that?
I think it would take me a while. No, I won't say a while to recover from it, but it will take me some time. Like, it will take some time to settle things down. But then again, I know that after every failure, there's always a stronger comeback. So I know that's going to be coming. So
I should have rephrased that question. Firstly, genuinely, I believe there is no such thing called failure. You fall, only
and
to
you get
rise
back
up.
I think
Stock market.
Yeah, you just fall. Yeah.
to add to that, I
And
think
it's not philosophical, right? I'm not talking about, because my story, if Sholay had not been made, they would have made a story on my life only. Full Sholay wala. But the fact, to your point, is play it out in your mind, all the scenarios. Then when the real scenario happens, it's already played in your mind.
that's
It's
the
no longer
Greek.
a shock.
That's the Greek.
Yeah, it's no longer a shock. Do you understand? And in your mind, if this doesn't happen, this happens. If this doesn't happen, this happens. It will automatically flow into your actions. And you say, you know what, deja vu, man. I've seen this. I don't know what really happened. I must have dreamt about it maybe 2 years ago that this may happen.
This is exactly what they did in Greece during war times. That they would prepare the gladiator. All of these gladiators, they would prepare themselves in their minds that we're going to lose. So they got so used to it that they just said, we're going to go to war, and if we lose, that's it.
So somebody asked Kobe Bryant, right? You look overconfident. He's saying, no, I'm not overconfident. The fact that when you see me as a confident, when you are stressing around, is because there has been 5 hours of daily practice every day for me to reach here to put that hoop.
I mean
That's not confidence. That's bloody preparation.
100%. And more than, sorry.
Right?
And,
You are nervous, I'm not, because I've prepared for it.
and
Absolutely.
more than that, how Parth mentioned it, manifestation.
Huh.
I am myself a very big believer of manifestation. I have a fighter, my favorite MMA fighter. He fights in the UFC, Conor McGregor. We all have heard of him. He has this very beautiful saying of, if you can see it here and if you can speak it, it will happen.
Absolutely.
And
100%.
it's working. So
I mean, biggest people in any sport, they have lost more than they've won.
What-
Any sport, anywhere, I think. Not even sport.
Last final
They've lost
thoughts,
more than they.
UV, not for you, not for the audience, for yourself. What are you manifesting here? You manifested a line out there. What are you manifesting here? We are going to come back in 2028. Let's just put it out there.
So I do manifest that BURG'IN becomes one of the biggest burger brands in Delhi NCR. That's the path.
Multiple outlets?
Not necessarily.
You haven't thought that far.
I don't like. It doesn't matter to have one outlet or 10 outlets. What matters is everyone who comes to that one outlet leaves happy, or maybe
Beautiful.
2 outlets, maybe
One at a time.
Yeah, but just make it a little bigger. Just go there and serve some of the best food I have ever made.
Beautiful. What are you manifesting today?
Well, I have a lot of manifestations for myself, which I keep telling myself every day in the morning.
Yeah, just put it out there.
Okay. There are personal manifestations.
Put it out there.
I being in the F&B industry, I want to be one of the fittest F&B leaders, like not like being like, not compromising on my health,
I got
eating
it.
gelato every day.
Got it.
So that is there. I want to be able to pursue my other passions. I have passion for music. I sing Indian classical. I don't want to leave that behind in my race to be an aggressive entrepreneur. So these are the personal
So that
things.
those creative balances you want to keep in your life.
Yes.
Do you get the time right now?
Yes. I try to make time out
You
of it.
try to me. I love
So
it.
that's the reason I have now started waking up at like 4:30 in the morning. So that is how exactly I'm getting the time for it. So, but yeah, so I have tried to keep that. And in terms of the business, I mean, I always say this to people, like I'm not building 1, 2 or 3 brands. I am building F&B industry. It could be multiple brands. It could be one brand scaled to multiple locations. But I want to fulfill a requirement or a need that you might have. So if I'm, for example, opening Firenze, I want to open at places where I know that you are craving that product. If I'm not opening a Firenze, I might open something else which you might be craving. But you will see a brand by Parth Gupta right there, which is doing the best product.
Love it. I told you, I just love
That.
it.
Just that.
Kevin,
what I manifest for 2028.
what are you manifesting? Just manifest. We'll put it out there.
So I also have a personal thing, but I manifest myself to be on the Forbes list,
Oh, nice.
and more than that, I'd like to be more a leader towards the political sides as well. Like that is a possibility.
You have those aspirations as well?
I mean, they're there.
No, why not?
I mean, I don't know.
You had business aspirations when you were 16. You have something today.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I've spoken to my family about this. Like, and they're like, "You really want to get into politics?" I was like, I mean, I can. I mean, I enjoy speaking sometimes and
More power to you on that.
being a solid
Firstly,
leader.
let
so-
nobody. Firstly, don't listen to nobody. Right? No, and I'll tell you why. I wanted to double click why you shouldn't listen, right? I always say, when you're going back home and let's say talking about a business to a non-business family, just out of love, they want to protect you, right? But I say, go back to them to fill in your emotional cup.
True.
Right? Because they have a lived experience of, let's say, being service oriented to someone else. They may not necessarily understand. Go and talk to a business family, and that other person will say, never work for anyone. You see how perspective changes? Like in your house, you come from a business family. We came from a non-business family. In our house, business, at that point in time, I'm sure even at this, was not a de facto choice, right? कि you had to work. But in your family, even in the 70s, business families, they groomed their children, boys and girls both, to take care of the families. So please create employment, create opportunities, your dream, your this thing, build nation, all those things happen. So you need to know where you need to go. If you want to harness your business, then go and talk to a businessman. If you want to fill in your emotional cup, then you go to those people who really do that for you. Let me manifest something, right, to all three of you. And that's a really important thing even for the audience to kind of understand. You have three distinctive, let's say 22 to 26-year-olds who are there. Rudy being the youngest, right? And obviously you guys are the same age over here. But they all dare to dream beyond perhaps the family background that they came from. What the youth needs to do today is essentially, I think, get into some form of an entrepreneurship. Create avenues for others. If you believe you have the ability to take that risk, your parents have sacrificed for the roti, kapda, makan, makhan and everything else, become micro-entrepreneurs first. It is a fulfilling journey. It is a long, arduous, it will challenge you. But what India requires is another 3 to 4 million entrepreneurs. Where you guys are coming in, you're changing the food scene of India, the food social scene of India. Through the gelatos, through the artisan cafes, through that manifestations of that, you know what, that burger can also be a fine dining experience. Now, when I say fine dining, I don't necessarily mean in an expensive way, right? Fine dining connotation is expensive, but I'm just kind of saying it's not a grab and go. It's not a McDonald's anymore, right? It can be a gourmet burger by itself and a meal by itself and an experience. You need to put India on the map. That this is made in India. You have that ability. God has endowed you. People are rooting for you, but more importantly, there are people who are supporting you as well. Push that envelope. You owe it to that next generation coming after you, because they're going to look at you and say, "Isne kiya hai, boss. Main bhi karunga. Kyunki isne kiya hai." And that's the burden all three of you carry.
That's exactly the plan.
Stay humble. Stay bloody confident. And confidence comes through the daily R&D. Your customers, they are the reason you exist. Customer nahi, tum kuch bhi nahi. Aapki story, zero.
Of course.
You got it? That's it. Thank you so much for your time. I hope this episode you enjoyed. I loved it. I told you I love to be amongst you guys, because I go back now thinking so much more. You said something beautiful. I'm reflecting at 54, why didn't I even think about it? Right? So much of learning for me to kind of do. And to the audience, thank you so much for your time. Three youths, you take the story back home, see what you need to extract from them. But एक चीज़ याद रखना, किसी से डरना मत, right? I always say, whenever you're erring on the side of caution, take that leap. Take that leap on the other side. पीछे मत देखो, कुछ नहीं होगा. डर आपके इधर है, आगे रहिए. सलाम, नमस्ते, सत श्री अकाल, and आदाब.